Hi, it's Rich Tehrani with TMC. We're at Telecom Exchange 2016 NYC. With us today is Phil Koblence. He is the COO of NYI. Philip, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm great.
So tell us a little bit about your company.
So we are a data center and managed services provider. Our key differentiator is kind of going beyond just the typical commodity-based data center approach and really becoming a facilitator for our customers more than just a facility.
Okay, describe that in a little bit of detail if you can.
Sure. So, the typical customer comes in, let's say, as a colo customer with, maybe a cabinet and some power, either in New York or maybe in New York or New Jersey, and then layers on, something in one of our West Coast facilities in Seattle, for example. And what we do is, to the extent that they have their core competencies and they need to outsource, let's say, the management of a firewall or layer 2 connectivity back to an office in the New York metro area, that's something we can certainly assist them with. We have full-scale monitoring services, and all of our technicians 24/7 are actually systems administrators because of all these managed services that we provide. So to the extent that a customer may not need that level of management day one, just by virtue of being an NYI customer, they have exposure to a resource that's physically in the data center, in any of the data centers that we deploy our services in, that's available 24 hours a day. And the differentiator really becomes acute when you're comparing us to some of the more real estate focused data center companies out there. So having access to data center technicians that actually know how computers work is a key differentiator. And then we layer on all sorts of managed cloud services, managed direct connect services to some of the public cloud providers like AWS and Google Compute and Microsoft Azure, and trying to bundle in an entire solution that gives the customer really the best of both worlds, a cost-effective way of implementing all of the varying elements of infrastructure that they need, whether they be public cloud, private cloud, or more traditional colo and bare metal.
Wow, so you add a lot of value.
We do, and that's the key differentiator is that value proposition.
Now, how does pricing work in terms of you don't have to give me exact numbers, but just compared to some of the other competitors in the market?
Yeah, I think when you're selling these types of services, you all have to be in the same area. So pricing is really not that much different than you'd get for the same type of service offering. And obviously, when it comes to those managed services, those are things that above and beyond the typical solution. But the value prop is that simply by virtue of being a customer at the same target price or within the same range of pricing that you would get with any of our competitors in whatever market that we're looking at, you get access to these resources if and when you need them.
What trends are you seeing in the market?
I think we're seeing a lot of companies that might have started in a public cloud, if they're a startup or a technology company or a web, whatever version they're claiming, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0.
I think we're like 3.5 or 4. I'm not really sure. 4, somewhere in that area.
Let's call it 3.75. So if you're a 3.75 company, and you started in AWS because that's where all startups go, and you realize that as you have these consistent workloads, that environment becomes an incredibly cost-prohibitive one to continue to grow as the prices go up exponentially. You actually see them start gravitating towards the idea of maintaining infrastructure for their consistent workloads. The problem is that there are logistical hurdles that all of these companies face in deploying actual gear. I think everyone understands the fact that the cloud exists in data centers just like the ones that we provide, but actually having access to staff that can monitor and maintain that gear, and even the rudimentary things like racking and stacking it become difficult. So what we're seeing is a gravitation towards a full-scale hybrid model. I hate that word because it's a completely overused word, but this idea that you start looking at your overall application and your requirement as having relevance to a public cloud, having relevance to a private cloud, and having relevance to some level of core infrastructure. And we're seeing a lot more companies looking for a solution that allows them to seamlessly incorporate all three of those things.
Great. What else should we know?
You should know that our website is nyi.net if you need any more information, and there is nobody better at this than us.
Thanks for your time.
All right, thank you.